to the world.
Welcome to the world.
All the time that you were gone, I thought about how things went wrong. Now you're coming down to earth. Okay, hello. Welcome to the world.
I don't know if you remember this from back in the day, but these things were always so really hard to play with. And if you're going to look for one online, you're probably better off with a Game Boy SP backlit. But if you are like me and you like the old school, I have a solution for you. Because I was looking online and I went to a website called Non-Electronics. Actually, when you go on there, it's Non-Finite Electronics, but the website is nonelectronics.com, N-O-N-electronics.com. And on that site, I found a mod for an LED backlit, well, a backlight. It comes with a resistor, and this translucent thing. I forget what it's called. Well, it's basically polarized film, I guess is what they're saying, which is what you're gonna need to do this mod. Now what you want to do, take the batteries out. If you have a really old model, you're probably just gonna need an old little Phillips head screwdriver. But if you have the later releases of this Game Boy, the one with the big, huge, annoying sticker that always rubbed out, serial number, you're gonna need a tri-wing tip screwdriver, which you can find on estarland.com, really cheap, made by Yobo. They actually give you 3 different types. But anyway, for this mod, you're gonna need soldering iron, a desoldering plunger, a little snipper that you're gonna need to cut solder off of the back. I'll tell you about that later. Flathead, and probably a regular screwdriver for the inside, and a razor blade. So what you want to do is take your Game Boy apart now. So once you got that, you can open it up gently, and you'll see it's connected by a ribbon. Just gently pull that ribbon out. Put the back side away because we don't really need to mod that. Take your Phillips head, and you're just going to want to unscrew all these screws right here. It's a total of 10. And after you're done unscrewing those 10 screws, just carefully lift this up. Put this top part away, and I guess cover this up with something. You don't want to get dust on the screen. That's going to be really hard to take out. Now, you'll see that there's 2 screws here. You're going to need to remove those. Just remember, those screws you took out are different sizes from the ones that you took from the back of here, and these are different from the casing screws. So just keep those all separate and together with each other. So anyway, behind this you're going to see that the LCD screen is snapped on by this plastic border. What you want to do is remove that from the main board You gotta be careful because it's connected here, and you do not want to get that pulled off because you're pretty much screwed after that. Anyway, take your flathead and gently lift up the screen from the plastic. Gently, because it's still attached many components underneath. Okay? At this point, you want to take your razor blade and you're going to want to try to get behind the screen, just the adhesive part. Everything behind there. Just gently remove it like that. Now, you don't have to go really fast on this. Actually, you should go extremely slow. You do not want to crack your LCD. If you do that, you're going to have to get a new Game Boy. And you don't want to do that. Well, you can, if you could afford it. If you're like me, you try to want to keep your collection as perfect as possible. Now what I'm doing is I'm taking the back reflective part with the polarized film. I've tried just doing the reflective film, but it's just too messy. So I decided to just take off the whole thing because they give you a replacement one. You want to just gently back and forth remove this. And try not to get your fingerprints on the back, because any fingerprint you get on here will show up when you're done with the mod. Be sure to not pull up so much on the bottom corner. There you go. Once you're done, it should look like that. See right through it. So from this point, you're going to want to decide if you want to have a separate switch, or as I like to put it, just do switchless. It's easier and aesthetically pleasing because you don't have to cut holes into your case and add a switch. But from this point, what you want to do is you're going to want to remove this LED, and you can do that by just unsoldering it from these points right here. And wow, it looks like they use a ton of solder, but that's why you got your solder remover, little plunger. And you just want to heat it up, suck out the solder, remove it, and you're going to want to remove these two components as well. I don't know if you can see that, but there are two resistors. So yeah. Also gotta tell you, old solder is really takes a bit of time to heat up and remove. But if you want, you can add new solder to it to help it. Alright, so when you're done with that, see, I desoldered to here, here, and here, and here. Took those components out, as well as the LED. And to make this, well, to make this fit in here, you're going to have to cut this frame out, this part of the frame. Now, I prefer to do it with just these snippers because they're really sharp. Let's cut along right here, like that, and also here. You don't want to get those screw holes. Yeah. And it will look like that. Now, since we're doing the switchless, take your polarized film, put it somewhere safe, or you know, better yet, don't even take it out of the bag. You want to take out your LED, and also the resistor that comes with it. Now, for the switchless mod, the instructions say to place it right here where the old resistor went. Just solder it on there. So what you want to do next is figure out which version of these you have. Apparently they made 2 of them. The version 2 have the wires right in the middle with this gray bar right here that you can see. The version 1 has them right here on the outside. So if you're like me, you got the version 2 model, we can do this. What you're going to want to do is take the cathode wire, black wire, and you're going to want to attach it to where the LED was. If you're looking at it from the front, it's the bottom hole right here. You can either, there's 2 ways you can go around it. You can stick it right through the front, solder it from the back, or wrap it around, go through the back, solder it that way. I'm going to try to do it clean as possible. Stick it here right through the front. Seems clean. It'll look better. Even though no one will see it, in my mind it'll be better. And after you finish that, you're going to want to connect this to the opposite end of that resistor that soldered on earlier. Now once you've done that, you can slip this right underneath, but remember to take off the protective plastic film that's on top, just like that. Make sure your glass is clean, the LCD, and just put it underneath, just like that. Look at that. Looks great, doesn't it? Oh, we'll see when we're done, right? Okay, at this point, you're going to want to just cut the legs of the resistor. Just clean it up. Real simple. There and there. Oh yeah, also make sure it doesn't touch any other connections or openings. That'd probably be a really good thing to do. When you're done, snap it all into place, like so. See if I can get this in there again. Here we go. When you're done with that, what you're going to want to do is decide whether you want your images inverted or normal. What you're also going to want to do when you're done is, you see where the LED light went? There's a little part in here. You're going to need to cut that out, make it flush to make room. I just take my snippers, and I just cut through it just like that, nice and clean. Like there we go. Just try to get it as flat as you can get it. Ooh, also, forgot to mention the back of this. Make sure everything, you don't really need to, I mean, the site tells you to, but just, I guess they want you to shave all these little tiny bumps here. Sometimes Nintendo put a little bit too much back there, so it's a little bit bumpy, but just flatten it out with some cutters. It's easy. So at this point, you're going to want to turn it on and notice nothing comes on the screen. And you want to know why? It's because you haven't made a decision about how you wanted your screen to look. Inverted or regular. This is what you'll see via a regular screen. Now, granted, my screen's not that great, which is why I decided to do the mod on this. You can have it like that, or flip it around and it's inverted. Look at that. No, you decide. I'm just gonna go with the old regular one because I like it that way. That's the kind of guy I am. So, after you're done with that, make sure you put it the way you want it. Attach the screws back here, put it back in its case, put the screws back in that way, and we'll see what happens. So I'm done. And my screen looks horrific, but terrific at the same time because it has a backlit screen. Look at that. Beautiful. That's pretty much all there is to it. Now these LEDs, they come in many different colors. I prefer white or blue. Blue, I've seen pictures online. They look really nice. Red would give it a deeper tone. You could probably see a lot better with red in the dark. But I just prefer white. Now, this has always been a problem when I do these. There is, I believe it's the frame on the inside, that little white plastic frame that keeps the screen in place. That's going to make it bulge up a little bit on the right side of it, or from inside the left side. I guess you can cut all that away and do without it, but it'd be really hard to position the screen. But anyway, yeah, that's the mod. I thought I'd make one of these to try and help people. I'm not a, read directions type of guy. I'm more of the watch and do. So that's why I made this video. I just hope it helps out anybody who's trying to do this. Once you're done, it's really, really nice. I don't think the camera does it any justice, but it works. The only thing you'll probably miss would be the LED to know when your battery goes out, but I guess, well, if you're playing with batteries, it'll just turn off. So just be cautious of your time. That's only one drawback from this. Anyways, that's it. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to help a lot of you guys out.